Guys, welcome on into Three Bold Takes. I'm Freddie, joined by Chase and Quinn, and in this video, we are going to break down the Iron Bowl here. Alabama at Auburn at 6:30. Looks like Alabama currently is a 5.5 point favorite on the road. Um, man, tough. It's going to be a tough game for Alabama here. We know Jordan Hare. We know Auburn. This is their Super Bowl. It's the biggest one A 1B rivalry game in the country. Super excited. Looks like Alabama's a 73.5 point favorite in this one. Quinn.
Yeah, man. Welcome to it, Kalen DeBoer. If you think there's ever been pressure on you before as the head coach at Alabama, this is the pressure cooker of all pressure cookers. Your season's on the line. You're either going to Atlanta or you're going home based on what happens in this Iron Bowl game. All right. And when I say home, I mean there's no playoff, there's no nothing. Back to back 9 and 3 years, missing the playoff, and you miss it this year because you lose to Auburn.
Back to back ReliaQuest Bowl appearances.
Ooh, not a good look. Not a good look. Um, Look, this is for any of the superstitious Alabama fans out here. This is your worst nightmare. This game means everything for you. Here's just a couple little things for Auburn here. They're 5-1 all time against you at night in Jordan Hare. A win gives them a appearance in a bowl game. A win might help their current interim coach land a head coaching job. It would definitely help push his chances. And most of all, it ruins your whole season. So this game means everything for them. It's in Jordan Hare, like I said before. And Auburn's been in every single major game they've played in this year. They've lost almost all of them, but they've been in them. All right. So let's talk X's and O's real quick. Auburn's defense is going to frustrate this Alabama offense. I'm sorry, let's call a spade here. This Alabama offense has looked like a dookie since the Tennessee game. They played terribly against South Carolina. They played average against LSU. They did not play very well against Oklahoma. They threw 2 picks against Eastern Illinois. Like, and when you're playing a team that like that, like there's not a whole lot to take away from the game. So when you throw 2 picks against Eastern Illinois, I'm going to judge
Yeah,
you
it's
for
bad. Yeah.
like I'm going to judge you for that. Now the counter could be, oh well, South Carolina and LSU were the two best secondaries Alabama's played this year, and Oklahoma is like the best defensive unit they've played. Guess what? Auburn's also a really good defensive unit. Their issues have been on the offensive side of the ball. What do they do well offensively? Well, not a whole heck of a lot, but they can run the ball with the quarterback, which is a problem for the 4-2-5 defense. Everything about this game screams, oh no, Alabama is in major trouble. I got labeled in the comment section of Alabama, Oklahoma as a Bama hater for saying that Oklahoma needed the game more and they were going to win it 26-23. How off was I about that?
Not far.
Guys, Bama fans, listen, come in, come close. You're playing in the scariest place on earth, Jordan Hare Stadium at night. Your whole season's on the line. You have been trashing your head coach in every forum all year. You've never really forgiven him for last year. You haven't really forgiven him for the Florida State game. You were just waiting for him to slip up again, start attacking him. Your kicker has no confidence anymore because you drug that man through the mud. Okay? Auburn has nothing to lose and everything to win. Ty Simpson throws 2 interceptions. Auburn wins the game by a touchdown. I'm calling it right now. Alabama season's over in Jordan.
If that happens, there's going to be some really bad Fire DeBoer speech
Kalen
going on.
DeBoer will not be the head coach at Alabama when he loses to Auburn.
That's a bold take.
Kalen DeBoer will replace James Franklin.
Look, what I have here
That's
is
crazy.
They're going to run him out of town. Do you think like, I'm just saying, I'm not. The Alabama fan base is nuts, man. They're nuts.
Yeah, and I mentioned that when he got hired. I said his expectations are national championship or bust. If he's not hitting that mark, they're going to want to put him on a pitchfork and hang him up in the middle of town. And that's what they're going to try and do. Definitely if they lose this game. But I'll tell you this: you're an interim head coach wanting a full time head coaching job. What a better way to show your employers that you can be the head coach. You can be that guy. Now, did you maybe kill a kid a few years ago? Sure. You know, that's just DJ Durkin. But, you know, what he could do is now kill the Crimson Tide and Auburn, the whole fan base given, you know? So, I mean, what happens in this Iron Bowl, do you really know? You know, it's 6:30. It's a night game. It's all the ensemble. It's everything, right? It's like playing in a haunted house with Chucky on one side, Jason in another, and then Michael Myers escorting you throughout it. It's a freaky one. You know, it's I don't know. But my biggest thing, what I'm kind of noticing, I said this at the beginning of the year. I don't know if anybody remembers, but I said, hey, the only way Hugh Freeze saves his job this season is if they pull a Florida DJ Lagway situation with Deuce Knight. He plays while Hugh Freeze is coach. He didn't do that. Freeze lost his job, but Deuce Knight got his first start last week. Jay played Mercer. He did. Kid had 6 tutties. First play from scrimmage took it 80 yards to the house. Kid can play some ball. Throw that little freak of a freshman out there and let him just play ball against the Alabama Crimson Tide and cause fits. Because what is the biggest travesty if you're an Alabama Crimson fan looking at the opposing offense? And that sucker run. Oh, gosh, that sucker can run. Tommy Castellanos. What did he do? John Mateer. What did he do? Just the same breed of quarterback. I don't know where they get them from, but they find them and they say, hey, you know what? We got Alabama next week. You're going to start. That's what they do. Jackson Arnold, don't care. Kid can't throw. He can run the pad. Don't really care. I forget the other one's name, so he must not matter either. Deuce Knight. I've said he was going to be the truth, and hopefully he is because I hate to say it because I am at the deepest core of myself, I am an Alabama fan. But man, it is fun when Auburn's a good football team, when there's something to play for in these games. It's a fun time. Because Quinn was right. If you watch the game rivalry episode that we talked about, somehow that can be leveled up a little bit. The game can be because they're both ranked all the time. This game isn't always ranked, but that's what makes it a little scarier. Is because Auburn could be 2-10, says, you know what, I'm not winning the national championship, but I'm about to the week after or the weekend after Thanksgiving. That's when I'm going to win my championship. And they sometimes freaking do it, no matter how good Alabama is. Now or never for DeBoer. It is, you know. Ty Simpson, you're that guy. You have Heisman aspirations. You can lead this team to the national championship. Honestly, you could be the first guy off the board in the NFL draft. Not Arch Manning, not Fernando Mendozozo, whatever his name is. Be you. I think Alabama wins. I'm going to take a 10-point win. It's going to be nasty, though, because it's not going to be a gratifying, dominant, we just beat the piss out of the Tigers. It's going to be the same way Kalen DeBoer does it every time. He's going to hang around. The other team's going to hang around. It's going to be a tight contest, about 3 to 4 points, and then it's going to end up with a touchdown-ish win, a comeback win, something of the nature. That's how DeBoer does it. That's how it's going to happen. And definitely in this one, if you don't have your piss pants on, you better find them. Whichever pants you like to piss in the most, because you're going to have to do it a whole heck of a lot during this game on Saturday. Definitely throughout the night. So make sure you have them on because it's going to be a wild ride for this.
Yeah, I'll say this: he better win because if he loses, you're talking about losing to either a 5-7 or 6-6 Florida State and a 6-6 Auburn and a competitive close loss to a good playoff team in Oklahoma. That's the same thing you did last year.
Yeah. So Quinn, you did an excellent job laying out why everything points for Auburn in this game. And I think that's why Bama's going to win. I think that the coaching staff for Auburn, the players are listening to this. They see the spread numbers. They see that, hey, we actually have a chance in this game. And I think the best Iron Bowls and the best Auburn teams is when they don't think they have a chance in Hades to beat Alabama and they throw the kitchen sink at them. But I think they're going to try to overperform in this game, and I think that's what's going to bite them. I think they're going to make some dumb coaching decisions. I think that they're going to turn the ball over, and let's not forget now, Alabama's defense has locked in the past few weeks. I think now they're 10th in total defense, I believe. So they've kind of locked it in the past 5-6 weeks. Now the offense has not come around, and I tell you what, this is not a game that if you expect your offense to take a jump forward, this isn't the game that's going to happen. I hate to break it to you, but I think Alabama wins this game simply because I think Auburn is going to put too much pressure on themselves. I know that sounds crazy because they are where they're at without a head coach. Like, if they win this game, they could be a bowl, a bowl team. Like, I just think that's too much external factors here in the favor of Auburn to the point where it's not gonna help them. Now, uber competitive game, and I actually think Alabama makes a game-winning field goal. There's been a lot of issues with the kicking, as you mentioned, Quinn. A lot of booing, and in fact, DeBoer decided to throw in every other kicker last week against Eastern Illinois just to prove why the starter's the starter. And he's still not very good. However, I think he redeems himself and gets a game-winning field goal against Auburn. How awesome would that be for that guy and that kid to be able to redeem himself in the biggest game of the year for you and kicking a game-winning field goal and make all the fans that booed at last week's game feel really bad because that was
No,
classless.
man.
I don't agree with that whole booing nonsense. That's for the Florida States and the Floridas of the world. Alabama does not do that. They shouldn't do that. So I don't agree with that. Now you can talk bad about him behind his back all you want to, but don't boo him in front of his face. That's just bad to me.
I'll
But
tell you
yeah,
what, Sprecky, it sounds so good. It's almost like it's a fairy tale and not reality.
Talk to him.
hey Quinn, you lay out fairy tales all the time for us, and you tell us exactly how games are going to end, and you lay them out, and they all sound unbelievable. But guess what, baby? It's college football. That's what's great about this sport. It's the greatest sport on earth, and that's why we love it, and that's why we talk about it. So, guys, thanks for watching the Iron Bowl preview and prediction. I'm Freddie, been joined by Chase and Quinn, and we are Three Bold Takes, and we are out.